Beloved star, welcome. This is one of those epically mini dinky pods this week. My son's been ill all week, so I've been looking after him and have slightly less time for each of my other things. And this is Immortal Star Pod 68, and I was asking myself, I was like, if I'm to record a super mini pod, what would be the one message coming through at this moment and the thing to share? So with this, I heard the words that when I've asked myself sometimes what's the core message that I hold or carry if I was to give it in the most simple direct way possible. No quantum, elven, celestial realm expressions, just in the most simple words. And I think what comes for me in that, well, I know what comes for me in that is the words, you are so beautiful. And that truth, you are so beautiful. And within that feels to me the depth of the most simple honoring of what it is so easy not to honor in the world we've arrived into and been born into, and is the deepest, most powerful revolution we can possibly make in our world. The most ecological of actions I can imagine is to know first and foremost and to access the beauty that is within us. It is the greatest resource that the earth could call forth from us and that we could gift and restore this world with. So yeah, you are so beautiful, and the energies are really this year with that innermost essence equaling greatest interconnection, calling us into that truth. Wherever you journey into, wherever you spiral into with your adventures of self and expansion, connection, discovery, dissolutions, letting goes, recalibrations, that the thread, if you like, of the journey gets stitched back, pulled back through, that we return back to that innermost essence, the core, the truth. I am so beautiful. You are so beautiful. We bring it back over and over again back to our innermost essence. And yeah, this moment feels like that to me as we've been in this Bluebell Moon of the Elven galactic cycles, in this journey into our dimensions of our ancient power. In the Bluebell Moon, we've journeyed very much into the galactic plane, the Milky Way galaxy, star jewels of power embedded within our galactic plane, not accessed until now, and also those within the Earth through the Lemurian gateway, stargate, through into those layers of ancient, ancient power and grace that we may not have claimed until now. And with that descent, with that journey to pull the thread at this moment, to stitch back up, as it were, return to our core, to our innermost center, to our hearts. And I think if I'm going to keep this to a dinky pod, I can feel I'm on a roll now. I'll keep going, but I don't have a huge window in which to record. So if I was to be most succinct in sharing where that brings me to in the now, and an example of that, it's that the power you're unlocking, the power, the life force energy within you in the now, is the skills, the gifts, the ability that you have. You know, the potency within you is married, is joined back with that innermost core of the love, of the light, of the beauty that you are. And you see, how can more of your power, your efficacy be liberated and gifted to and work alongside to serve this light, this beauty being gifted to this world. And it may mean traversing old dimensions, experiences of ourselves where we haven't done that, where we've got lost, gone into escapism or addiction, or ways that those are, behaviors that mirror a deeper lack of faith in ourselves, in the light that we are, in our own efficacy, that we can really stay present. All of those escapist, addictive tendencies distractions, they all stem from that lack of faith, that lack of trust in ourselves, in the that knowing, the wholeness of that knowing of how beautiful we are, and to stay present, to give our power, our potency to ourselves and the light that we are, to follow through. And so it's just, I was just doing a little Google just before I started this. I asked the question, I've been traversing those layers within myself. Often for me, the memory of is still been strong for me as I've been on my journey of the times back in my early 20s. It was a 10-year period of my life where I was very lost in those kind of cycles. And still, that's something that is releasing from my cells. It's like a residue that's still phasing out. And I get that frisson of remembering, my own path of way showing, of sharing, of being in the continuity of gifting this light. Will I go back to that place? Do I fully trust myself not to go back into that experience, to get lost in that way again? And it fades out and fades out. I would say it feels like a residue that's getting smaller and smaller over time. But I've really felt it in the last week. And so I asked myself, but I've been telling the story of it, just to say I'm now speaking of that part of that experience. And I found myself wondering, I thought, gosh, is this residue now the completion? Is it releasing? Will I stop, as it were, carrying this story within my cells and my being? And I asked the question, I said, well, what's needed? What would be needed for me now to completely release or heal that residue, that memory? And the answer that came, it was a very practical. It's like this. I've been wanting to record the meditations of the silver wheel for so many years. And for anyone who's been following the work, I've been speaking of it for a long time. And it's the most elementary, obvious thing for me to share and to do. And I long to do. And I've done it live so many times. And I've done it within my enclosed memberships and circles. But to create those as offerings that are present for anyone who would wish to experience them. And it just means bringing together a lot of practical and technical stuff that is beyond my knowledge that I hold right now. And I've spent the last years, I've got the sound technology all set up, which has been a huge voyage. But I've had this one stumbling block, which is how to read the meditation when I'm on a video, how to keep the voice flowing while I'm doing it. And usually I lay out pieces of paper on the floor in front of me, but it's a really kind of awkward physical experience. I'm drumming and I'm trying to read the script and I'm trying to stay aware of communicating through the visuals of the video, and it gets kind of clumpy, and I know I'm avoiding the experience because it's so awkward. And then I got a teleprompter app, but it scrolls along. You have to choose a speed that it goes at. And for me, sharing a meditation is a completely intuitive, in the moment creation, and flows of Elven light language come, and the gaps, the spaces. I find it's a multidimensional experience across time and space with all of the souls who'll journey it. And that's what I experience when I'm recording a meditation. So having this set speed, it's really kind of distracting. But I've been caught up on this for ages. It's like that efficacy, that power, fully believing that I can find the solution fully within myself. So when I ask this question, what can I do? What would be most powerful to kind of heal this residue right now? Of course, there's direct energy healing and that layer, but I was given this very direct action. It was like, find the answer to that. There must be, and I got this phrase, Google voice sensitive teleprompter, one that moves with my voice, and so I can set the speed of it. So obvious, but it's like moving beyond, the parts of experience that are anchored in old beliefs. And I think the fact that I haven't found that solution is to do with a belief about myself, still like a worry. I'll fail. I'll let myself down. I'm not gonna fulfill that vow, that deep calling to offer that offering, that work into the world, to make it available. And that is producing this, lack of finding the solution, that belief. So interesting. So I just and I found it, and of course there are loads. Now I think of it, it seems so obvious, but yeah, it was just so gorgeous to feel that bit of my life force and my power liberating, coming into union, finding the solution for this, so that I can create this into the world. So a little example of a moment that I've been experiencing, and I hope for you that that might become might be a little microcosm mirroring for you something that for you might activate like a shift in your beliefs around what you're capable of, and letting your power unify with the beauty that you are, so that that can be gifted into this world just a step further, more fully, the deep efficacy of that beauty that you are being gifted into this world. So, and I just, to complete the pod 68, did I say it was 68? I wanted to read from one of my favorite books in all the world, Return of the Bird Tribes by Ken Carey. If you're on the YouTube, you'll see I'm holding it up. Ken Carey, his surname is Carey. Stunning book, Return of the Bird Tribes, and a long treasured favorite of mine. And this quote, now anyone who's on my writing programs, I've been reading this ad infinitum this week, but I wanted to share this. It's been so present with me, and for me encapsulates the energies of the now, following the vast recalibrations we've been in through the last while. And this is the passage from the chapter on White Buffalo Calf Woman. So, creation does not take place where there is a scattering and dissipation of energies. Creation requires a gathering together and focusing of your power within a circle of commitment, like a seed, an egg, a womb, or a marriage. If you would create and not destroy, you must remember always the sacred hoop. Consider wisely the ways in which you would use your power, and then around those ways draw the sacred circle of commitment. In the warm atmosphere of that circle, the power of love builds and builds like a storm above the wet summer prairie, until suddenly the circle can hold no more and explodes in the conception of the new. So, yeah, just adoring those words at the moment. Consider wisely the ways in which you would use your power, and then around those ways, draw the circle of sacred commitment. So bringing your power back now to that sacred commitment, to the beauty that you are. And yeah, may you be so blessed this week. Have a beautiful, beautiful passage. Kenani ananora tian, enara sian, in honor and grace, walking with you in beauty for the dawn. Mena sarakyon ataratian tarakiera. So much love and farewell for now.